Šarūnas Bartas The House is a brilliant experiment of the basic capabilities of the film medium, exploring the unique possibilities in which a film can weave together shots of individuals hanging out around, seemingly aimlessly, a large scenic house, staged and edited to the extent wherein it becomes a cohesive, beautiful, absorbing, and involving film experience. Tripping a kind of insistence that one needs only performers and an open location or series of open spaces to craft an interesting, worthwhile, thematically powerful film, Bartas' work is the apotheosis of the 1990s trend to focus on characters in rooms or in intimate yet profound or epic scenarios, deliciously filmic yet totally realizable and independent, not reliant on larger budgets or elaborate set-piece oriented spectacle. The House is the kind of film the medium had been building up to, yet could have potentially been realized during any decade, but without the precision, technological fluidity, and photographic, cinematographic clarity of 1997, when Šarūnas Bartas at least released The House, a film I consider to be something of an enduring masterpiece, potentially. I mean, it is not a very well-known film. Bartas is a Lithuanian filmmaker who may be more well-known for films he made outside or around The House, although it is easy to imagine The House being very popular amongst film societies or other assorted snobs. How could they resist? I was pointed toward this film some years ago now, circa 2017 I believe, by Noel Oakeshott. I am unsure how he came across it, but he really loved it, championed it, highly recommended it to myself, and then I became quite a fan of it as well. Some stellar awe-inspiring photography in this picture. We have immaculate close-ups, delicate and meticulously staged interiors, much like a gorgeous painting, and some utterly glorious landscape shots as well. Credit to Bartas and his regular cinematographer, at one time Rimvidas Lipas, for achieving such admirable cinematography on this title. Let's read aloud two IMDb reviews from early in the website's history, close to this film's release date. From the 17th of March 1999 writes, Sietze, 6 out of 10, lock this man up. Though I enjoyed the screening of the film, I was quite disappointed about Bartas' latest. Unlike his previous films, The House did not take control of the, in my case, well-disposed viewer. The separate shots were predominantly fascinating, yet sometimes of a very controlled profundity. The lack of continuity, on the other hand, was embarrassing. At most, 3 consecutive shots formed some kind of a unity. Therefore, I think Šarūnas Bartas should be locked up this time, in the editing room for at least a month, I assume, and then present a piece that will be worth his signature. But then, Noitzmed_Habibi on the 13th of October 2002 gives it 10 out of 10. Cold, a little less grey, wordless comfort, almost. The House was reviewed a little less favourably than Bartas' earlier films, regular cinema-goers having given up long ago, but personally I found it his most beautiful film yet. Bartas does tend to repeat himself, it's true. Reviewers love his grim shadowscapes shot in black and white of anonymous, more or less lonely or drunk, dishevelled men and women stumbling through a haze of cold forests, smoky houses, and city wastelands in seemingly arbitrarily fashion, but even they get, I assume, weary of it. Contrary to what you might think based on the above, there is nothing gothic about Bartas' depressed realities, and he himself insists whenever somebody dares suggest a socio-political interpretation, there's nothing Soviet about it either. It's existential. No matter. To me, his The Corridor still serves as a brilliant visual summary of the comfortless, hopeless human condition of the former Soviet Union. But The House, the way I experienced it in any case, showed a whole new step. Not just because there was some colour, but because abstract surrealist scenes of indulgence, eating, caressing, and a suggested presence of tales about the house were added to the mere stumbling in the dark, making the film sensual. Yes, that's a great word, sensual. Almost without ever lessening the impact of how lost these people seem. More than that, having suspended first your urge to recognize or follow any storyline, then even your urge to formulate any analysis or interpretation of the images he's providing you with, by the time you're just looking at what you see and feeling, suddenly you find yourself watching at a fire outside on the ice in the lake, and there is a glow, and even the sound of unexplained fireworks, and although it's still lonely, it's pretty, and you, well, I was in any case, are moved, sincerely moved. That's good. If mere images, without plot, without actors, without explanation or meaning even, can move you to your bones, almost make you cry in grief or relief, that's pretty good. 10 out of 10. That's a phenomenal right up there. Wow. One of the most impressive acts of pure filmmaking ever realised, I would certainly say. That's There's that quote by James Benning wherein he felt that the medium had moved too rapidly. Well, this film appears to occupy, languish in that space wherein it ought to have been, perhaps, rather than exploring extensive VFX, computer technology, or up-tempo editing, to wallow in the mire of existence just a little longer until the cosmic soldiers of narrative fate come to take it all away, I suppose. Thanks everyone for enduring this. Have a great day, night, wherever you are. Have the best one you could have ever possibly imagined.